YouTube, what is up, Eroktic here. In today's video I want to show you how am I managing my inventory. There is a lot of people that are asking me about that question, so that is the reason why I'm recording this video. For those of you that do not know, I have Edge of Darkness edition, which means I have the biggest amount of the inventory slots possible, but since this game is a loot hoarding game, there is never enough of the inventory space. I fully do understand that there is a lot of people with the standard editions and they have a big problems with their stash space, so that's why we are recording this video. The best way to show you how I am organizing my stash is with organizing insured items. As you can see, I got a lot of insurance back and we're gonna sort that out. And while doing that, I'm gonna explain you the reasons why am I doing specific stuff. Now first, I got the glasses, Blackrock and the UN. As you can see, my character is naked because I died in my previous raid, and that is the best way how to sort your inventory. Going through the insurance and use the stuff that you already insured. And when you're holding Alt and clicking with the left click, you're gonna automatically put all of that stuff on your loadout. So if I have the insurance and I need something for my loadout, first stuff that I'm using is that are going out from my insurance. And I'm building the loadout like this. Now I got this skiver back because I dropped it, it is broken. It seems like it is not broken, but it is broken, so I'm gonna sell it. And all the stuff that I wanna sell, I'm holding Control and clicking left click. I'm gonna keep this AVS for now to see how many AVSs I got back from the insurance. Then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna see what's up. Although this chest rig can be traded for the AK-74, so I'm gonna pick it up. And I'm gonna pick all of those empty magazines up also. Now we have 2 Blackrocks, and I'm gonna automatically go to the proper and give away those 2 Blackrocks for the AK-74. Now when we traded those 2 Blackrocks for the AK-74, and this AK is taking 10 slots. Although, if you remove pistol grip, you're saving 4 slots. Which means this AK-74N can go straight to my weapons. And since this pistol grip is not that expensive, I'm gonna sell it immediately. I'm gonna sell this and this. I'm gonna keep those decorations just in case. Maybe I'm gonna use them later on, we'll see. And I'm gonna sell all of those magazines, and the reason why am I selling all of those magazines is because I have this right here, those 6 rigs, and I'm storing all of the ammunition that I'm planning to use in future in those rigs. And the reason why my ammunition is inside of those rigs is because every single rig is gonna save me 1 slot, at least AVSs. AVS are taking 9 slots, but inside there is 10 slots. Although Commander rig is gonna give me 4 extra slots. This rig right here is taking exactly the same space like the Commando. I left it on purpose just to show you, which means if I remove this rig and if I place Commando here, my inventory stash is gonna take exactly the same amount of slots, although I'm gonna get 4 extra slots. So I'm gonna unequip this Blackrock, I'm gonna place this rig right here, I'm gonna use it in the next raid. And I'm gonna buy Commando. Now when we bought Commando, I'm gonna place all of those stuff that were in this rig here. And as you can see, 4 extra slots are right here. I'm gonna place those 2 magazines here in this Commando rig. And also, if you have some loose ammunition right here, don't forget to store them inside of the magazines. Just click through your VT rigs and see what do you have. I'm using these HP rounds for the testing purposes, so I'm not gonna fill them inside of my actual magazines, but you're also saving a lot of space with just storing the ammunition inside of the magazines that you already have. And also about those 2 AKs, I'm gonna sell those pistol grips, I'm not gonna use them. And the reason why I'm gonna sell them is because Mr. Prapor is selling them on level 1, I think. Yeah, it is on level 1. And this, and the buttstock for the AKs. So you can even go in the extreme and remove these buttstocks off and just buy them when you're ready to use the AK. I'm gonna keep that buttstock because buttstock requires 2 slots and the AK requires 1 slot, but I'm gonna sell it if I'm gonna plan to use one of the stocks that I already have in my stash. And for those of you that do not know, you can store backpack inside of a backpack inside of a backpack. And also in those empty slots inside of my backpack, I'm keeping the quest items. Because you're never using them, it is not worth to store weapon modifications, because when you click on some of the weapons, you cannot equip stuff that are inside of your backpacks or inside of your item cases. For now, maybe those things are gonna change in the future. And also, quest items are taking a nice chunk of my inventory space, so if you have the standard version, I would strongly recommend you not to keep those items. The only items that are really hard to get are cigarettes, those really rare shamags and the masks, and probably Tushankas. because they're really annoying. Everything else it is really easy to find if you know specific places where to loot those items. Usually I always like to have some empty space between stuff, like you see here, here, because I like to be flexible. For example, now I have some pakas here and this VT rig has to be sold. Here I have a space for this UN backpack, but let's pretend this is taken also. I'll just place this medicine case somewhere on those loose spots and I'll just place this UN here. Usually I'm storing 6 bulletproof vests, and if you're asking why you're holding those knives, 10 knives. When you click on the Peacekeeper, you can trade 10 knives for the MP5. So I'm hoarding those 10 knives, and when I reach certain amount of the knives that I need, I'm gonna buy this MP5 and I'm gonna or sell it or use it. I'm gonna keep those contacts because I'm gonna use them in the future raids, and I'm gonna keep this AKMS also. As you can see, this AKMS requires 10 slots. You should always right click and see if you can fold the weapon. If you fold it, you're gonna automatically save 2 extra slots, and I'm gonna do exactly the same thing with this AKM, like with those AK-74Ns. Although I'm gonna keep this pistol grip because this pistol grip is a little bit better. I'm gonna keep this mag, it is empty as you can see, and I'm gonna check my rigs if I have space for that magazine. And as you can see, this BlackRock has empty slot for this magazine, so I'm gonna store it here. And I'm gonna keep this mask. The reason why am I gonna keep this mask is because there is a new recipe at the Rugman. You can give 5 masks for the Paka, and also you need 10 of those masks for the quest in future. Paka requires 9 slots, masks require 5 slots. So even if this is full, I'm gonna sell those Pakas, and I'm gonna keep those masks, so even if I'm gonna be really desperate for some kind of a bulletproof vest, I'm just gonna trade those masks for the Paka. Now my loadout is really full, and I have to repeat it again. I would keep that until I die, then I'm gonna use it, but... Okay, we're gonna stop now with insured items, I think you get a point. I'm gonna take this SKS and I'm gonna leave all of that because I think you got a point. What am I doing with my insured items? Please take in mind that insured items are not infinite. They have the timer on, which means after a certain amount of the hours or days, that insurance is gonna be outdated and you're gonna lose your items. So you have to play actively to use this type of a method. Now I wanna talk about weapon managing a little bit more. If you remove the magazine of the OP-SKS, it is gonna automatically go on 5 slots. It doesn't have pistol grip, so even in the raids you can remove the magazine, but we're gonna talk about looting in the raids a little bit later in the future videos. But for now, let's just stick to the topic. Let's talk about the weapon managing now. There is no golden rule how many slots you're willing to invest in your stash for the weapons only. So I cannot tell you if you're using standard edition, okay, use this amount of the slots, you're gonna be good. It all depends on your playstyle, weapon of choice, survival rate and much more. Like I said, I'm using Edge of Darkness edition and this is my hard cap of the weapons that I wanna have in my stash. Which means every other weapon that I find in my insurance, I'm gonna find the weapon here that is the worst. For example, if I wanna swap one of my AKMs that I have in my backpack or in the insurance, and I wanna place it inside of my inventory, I would replace it with the worst weapon. Which means one of those proper AKs or between that OP-SKS. It depends on the level, it depends on the ammunition that I have. For example, if I have BS, BP, BT, I would probably sell the SKS. If I'm lacking with that ammunition, I would probably sell AK-74N and keep the OP-SKS. Now let's talk about min-maxing the inventory slots on your weapons. There are few things that you need to know. I'm gonna pick for example this SRS. When you place the magazine and the pistol grip on the SRS, it is gonna take 12 slots. Like I already said, if you remove the pistol grip, it is gonna take much less. Even with the magazine, if you wanna store the magazine for it, you're gonna save 3 slots. So you should always check if you can fold your weapon and if you can remove the pistol grip. It is gonna automatically save a lot of space. I'm also placing in the item case all 1+4 weapons, and I'm placing in my weapon case all 1+5 weapons. And these stuff are really flexible. For example, you should also take in notice that weapon suppressor is taking 2 slots, which means I'm gonna invest 6 slots in my inventory if suppressor is off. So you should always place suppressors on top because you're saving 1 extra slot. And also, let's pretend that I do not have more space and I have this weapon suppressor on, and let's pretend that I do not have more inventory slots and I wanna save some of the slots. I'm gonna simply sell the buttstock from one of my AK-74s, and I'm gonna place the suppressor on top. Speaking about weapon modifications, I'm not selling my weapon modifications at all. I'm always saving weapon modifications on top. And when I reach specific amount of the weapon modifications, I'm gonna place everything inside of my backpack, scroll down, and I'm gonna hover over my weapons to see on which weapons I can place those modifications. For example, on this AKM I can place the laser sight. On these AKs that I bought from Prapor I can place this OKP7, this Cobra with the PK, I can place it right here. This is TT AKM, this is the adapter for the AKM. I love to use this DT case on the AKMs. We're gonna talk about that in the future videos, how to modify your weapons. Here is one AKMS without anything. I'm gonna place this on top. And I'm gonna automatically buy DTK muzzle from the skier, so I do not accidentally forget when I'm preparing for the future raids. It doesn't require that much rubles, and DTK is gonna really help you a lot. Please take a notice that also you can place suppressors on that adapter, not just DTKs. And I'll just, like I said, hover over the random weapons and see on what places I can place what. I'm min-maxing my time efficiency with doing that, and also saving a lot of my currency. I'm gonna remove the buttstock from that Vapor, and I'm gonna place this suppressor on the Vapor, and I'm gonna sell this buttstock. Again, same thing goes with that buttstock right here that I got. I'm gonna sell the default buttstock. Also, the Dovetail, also this thingy right here, OPSKSDT. You can also save extra slot if you're placing, for example, PSO if you're planning to use it. So you're saving one extra slot. I'm gonna keep that on top for the future SKSs that I'm gonna use. Now, when I got even more of those grips and those laser sights, you can buy really nice thingy from the skier that is called B10M. I'm gonna buy 5 of those just to give you a clear picture what I'm gonna do with that. They're gonna be on top, and if you're playing the standard edition and if you are really struggling with those slots, I would strongly recommend you to place those B10s on top and place all of those stuff that you find in a raid on that BT. And the reason why is because BT is one slot and you can place 4 different modifications per BT, which means you can place scope, you can place flashlights, laser sights and grips on those BTs. And if you gain a certain amount of those B10s, you can literally just click on one of your AKs and swap the grip with one of those fully modified BTs, and you're gonna automatically have all of those modifications on top. Eventually, when you're gonna hit high levels, you're gonna be able to buy those item cases, which is gonna give you great money sink to keep everything sorted out even more. But basically, using AVSs, using commandos, removing stocks and placing suppressors on top, saving those modifications on top, modifying the guns, having the rule, unwritten rule in your stash, how many weapons do you wanna have in your stash. And also, one more thing that I wanna share. Right now, I'm on 4.7 million and 7.6 thousand dollars. As you can see, like, everything is flooded already, almost flooded already. I still had some luck to find some wallets to store that money inside, so I'm still saving the space. But let's say that I have even more rubles, and those rubles are wasting my priceless inventory space. There is one pro tip that I want to share. Peacekeeper is willing to trade rubles into the dollars. I'll just convert those 500,000 rubles into the dollars. Don't worry, there is never enough of dollars. There is plenty of stuff that you can buy from the Peacekeeper for the dollars, so you will never go wrong with converting rubles into the dollars. My golden rule is to have above 2 million rubles, but please bear in mind that you cannot convert those dollars into the rubles, at least not yet, although you're leveling up your traders anyways with those conversions. But I really wanted to say is please take a notice that when you reach level 32 and once you get the item case, Elvira is gonna require rubles, not dollars. So don't go all out with those ruble conversions. Although even if you screw up, you can always buy a weapon from the Peacekeeper and sell it to the mechanic back. That is pretty much it. That is how I'm sorting my inventory. I hope this video helped you. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one. Eroktic out.